Hello, startups, influencers, and early stage business owners. Welcome to BSW Bonus Module 1 CASHE Flow Mastery. If you have not yet received a copy of the BSW series workbook, please be sure to grab one by clicking on the link inside of the video description or go to colemantanner.com and look for the BSW workbook link there. While we're waiting for others to join this workshop, take a look at the question on the following screen. Are you managing your business's bank accounts like a CFO, which is a chief financial officer, or are you just winging it? Go ahead and share your answers in the comments section, and we'll get started in just a couple minutes. All right, hello again, and thank you for joining me for Bonus Module 1 of the Bespoke Startup Workshop series. This series has been strategically designed for aspiring entrepreneurs, influencers, and early stage business owners who want a step-by-step roadmap that explains how to launch your first or subsequent business the right way, vastly improving your chances for success. Today's question is, are you managing your business's bank accounts like a CFO, or are you just winging it? If you haven't yet answered the question, go ahead and drop your answer in the comments. Today's workshop is sponsored by Coleman Tanner Consulting, your source for strategic business solutions. If cash is king, then clarity is the crown. Most entrepreneurs hustle hard, but still struggle to find out where their money went. That ends here today. This bonus module is your seatbelt moment. We're driving onto a racetrack of powerful financial rhythm that makes every dollar you make work harder for you at every lap. You don't need to be a CPA or a CFO to manage your income and expenses. You just need a plan, a good dose of self discipline, that's very important, and a system that aligns with the profit first mindset, which we're going to talk about in this episode. So pay yourself first, protect your profit, and fund your future empire. That's our three goals, right? So, what are we going to talk about? What are our learning objectives for this series, for this episode? In this session, we're going to learn how to use the Bespoke Startup's Cash Flow Mastery accounting system. We're going to talk about the 1% starting line and your high performance percentages. And we'll talk about your bi-monthly accounts management rhythms. Let's begin. Profit isn't what's left over. It's what comes first. In this bonus module, you're going to learn how to manage your money like a bespoke startup founder should, using a modified version of the profit first model that Mike Kalowicz wrote about in his book Profit First. All right, let's get down to the details. CASHE, CASHE, is an acronym for company allocations for shareholders, holdings, and expenses. It's also known as TAPS if you read the book Profit First. Here are the suggested allocations for your business banking. Shareholders. A, that's owner's compensation. What are you paying yourself? B, holdings. B is profit. That's profit to the owners and shareholders, which are also known as dividend distributions. And C, holdings for taxes, because you know we have to pay Uncle Sam every year. And lastly, D is your operating expenses. So there you have company allocations for shareholders, holdings, and expenses, the cash flow accounting system. Very simple, very easy to follow. Now let's look at allocations for business earnings using a top line revenue of income, gross revenue between $250,000 to $500,000. So in this frame, you would want to allocate five. These are just recommendations. They're not set in stone. 5% to profit, 50% to owner's compensation, 15% to taxes, and 30% to operating expenses. If your revenue, top line revenue, is between 500,000 to 1 million, you could allocate 15% to profit, 20% to owner's compensation, 15% to taxes, and 50% to operating expenses. So you'll notice that there's a marked difference between the operating expenses of a 500K plus business versus a less than 500K business. Your operating expenses goes up pretty substantial. And lastly, we are going to look at the revenue allocations for a business that's earning between $1 and $5 million. In this case, the recommendations are 10% to profit, 10% to owner's compensation, 15% to taxes, which you can see that's standard across the board with all of these demonstrations, and then 65% to OPEX, which is pretty substantial. But if you're running a $1 to $5 million top line revenue business, you are going to have a lot of operating expenses, right? And lastly, the demonstration here, our last demonstration here for allocations is a company earning a top line revenue of $5 million to $10 million. And generally, you may stay with these allocations for anything above 10 million, right? That's the assumption here. So the first allocation for profit would be 15%. The owner's compensation goes down to 5%. Now, it may seem like a small percentage, but remember, your top line revenue is 5 to 10 million plus dollars. So 5% is pretty substantial when you think about how much money is coming in. Taxes stays across the board at 15%. Now, that could be adjusted based on the type of deductions and credits that you're going to utilize in your tax planning process. But just across the board, we're going to use a safety net of 15%. And then you have your operating expenses, which still remains the same at 65% for businesses that are earning over $1 million because they are expense heavy. All right. So those are the allocations that are recommended based on your top line revenue. And lastly, for businesses, I already covered that. This is a little bit different. Sorry, I apologize. For businesses that are earning 10 million to 50 million, the allocation suggestions are 10% to profit, 10% to owner's compensation, 15% to taxes, and 65% to OPEX. Again, the last three have not changed. Now let's talk about when to distribute funds to the cash accounts, CASHE. So step one is on the 10th and 25th of the month, you want to count your total deposits for the prior period, the prior month, prior half a month, however you want to allocate that. Step two would be allocate funds to each of your cash flow accounts. And then step three, schedule your company's bill payments according to the invoice terms and your company's accounts payables policy. At the beginning of each quarter, you can make a bonus payment to the shareholders, aka a dividends distribution, so long as you maintain a surplus above 6 months of reserves, which we will call emergency funds. If you're not making shareholder distributions, then the profit funds that exceed 6 months of reserves should be moved into an investment holding account each quarter for use in making future capital expenditures, business loans, or making other investments with that money. Here's a final tip. You want to keep your business and your personal accounts separate to reduce the temptation to commingle funds, which is illegal, and you want to protect your bespoke startup business. Now, for our first hands-on activity, we're going to design our financial fortress. Let's begin. Here are 6 steps in the process of designing your financial fortress. So you'll need a blank worksheet, a pen, and a copy of your current bank account, your business bank account, that is. So step 1 is to draw 6 boxes on a sheet of paper and label each one with the account names. For instance, you could have gross income, owner's compensation, operating expenses, profit, taxes, and investment. Those are 6 different bank accounts that you should open up. Step 2, circle the accounts that you already have. If you only have one business account, okay, let's make that one the gross income account, from which you'll allocate funds into the other 5 accounts. So after you've circled for the account that you already have for step 2, the next step is to mark the accounts you need to open. And step 4, add notes such as This account will be held at XYZ Bank and state its purpose. Example, taxes. Okay? Now, step 5, choose your personal bank that you will not mix your funds with for your business. Keep your personal checking separate, checking and savings. Step 6, set up reminders on your calendar to manage your accounts on the 10th and 25th of the month. Here's a bonus tip. Write a money management affirmation such as, I manage money like a CEO, not like a side hustler. And repeat that 3 times a day for 30 days to register this in your subconscious mind. Now let's move on to our second mini presentation of the day, the 1% starting line and your high performance percentages. We're going to start at a 1% allocation, and then we'll level up to the high performance percentage allocations that we learned about in the first presentation. So the goal here is, in order to build this muscle memory, we're going to start small, just 1% into each account so that we can build this habit up. And the second thing that we want to do is we want to know our high performance percentages. So that all of those numbers that I shared, those brackets, let's go ahead and create a revenue allocations chart so that we can adjust our high performance percentages allocations based on our company's business revenue, top line revenue, as we grow. As we grow, our percentages will change, but we got to have it written down so that we can keep it top of mind. So make sure you make that revenue allocations chart. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper, you can follow the profit first rules of making quarterly distributions, 6 months reserves in the profit account for emergency funds, and then the surplus funds will be moved into the investment holding account. You can read the book for more details. I highly recommend that you do that. And lastly, we want to manage the payouts on the 10th and 25th of the month. So start where you are, scale as you grow. So for our next hands-on activity, we're going to set a starting line of our percentages. And in order to do that, what you need to do is look at your last 3 monthly bank statements for your business to determine what your real actual revenue is. You want to exclude any pass-through income for materials, or which is raw goods, and pass through to your subcontractors. Then you want to calculate 1% of your effective gross income to derive at your starting line allocations, which is 1% for each account. Next, write down your target high performance percentage allocations based on your top line revenue. Remember, you're going to increase your allocations by 1%, and you can do that either on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis until you reach your high performance goals. Now, in our final mini presentation for this bonus module, we're going to review our new bi-monthly accounts management rhythm, because rhythm builds reliability and wealth. The key to effective banking accounts management is keeping a set rhythm. And so we're going to explore this 10-25 rhythm. Let's begin. The 10-25 rhythm is, you're going to make your monthly accounting on the 10th and 25th of every month. The first thing that you're going to do is tally your deposits. That means add up all of the income that you generated for the month prior. The second step is to allocate funds to the appropriate accounts. Remember, starting at 1%, and then gradually increasing those till you reach your high performance percentages. And then step 3, once you've allocated the percentages, you're going to pay your bills from the operating expense account. And here's why this works. It prevents early month spending sprees. It provides regular pulse checks on your cash flow, and it builds financial discipline. Now, for today's final activity, we're going to be programming our smartphones with our 10-25 rhythms. So it's going to become like clockwork. Step 1, open up a calendar app on your smartphone. Step 2, set up an alarm for the 10th and the 25th of the month. You can call it cash flow allocations or cash flow review or anything you desire. Make sure that you set a repeat on the monthly option and repeat the process that you did on the 10th for the 25th. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and pause the video, complete this activity, and then when you're done, hit the play button so you can move forward. Now, one final tip before we wrap up here, you want to be sure to include these following tasks in the notes portion of your reminders. So you can open up the reminder on your smartphone, and the first note you want to do is add up your deposits. That's effective gross income. The second step is to allocate your high performance percentages. Step 3 is to review expenses and pay bills. So go ahead and set up a reminder. A fourth note, set up a reminder at the start of every quarter to transfer excess profits to your investment vault or to make a dividends payout. But remember to keep 6 months of reserves in that account for emergencies. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for joining me for today's Bespoke Startup Bonus Workshop. Here's a concise summary of our key takeaways. In this session, we learned about the Bespoke Startup's Cash Flow Mastery accounting system, the 1% starting line and your high performance percentages, and your bi-monthly bank accounts management rhythm. In our next bonus module, we'll show you how to turn around a failing business in just 6 weeks. So be sure to join us for that episode. Now it's your turn to ask me questions. Go ahead and write them in the comment section of this video, and I'll respond to you as I receive your notifications. That's a wrap for our workshop. A huge thank you for being a part of this fun exercise. Before you dash off, let me drop my contact information on screen so that you can snag it and have access to more goodies like this in the future, or you can get in touch with me if you fancy teaming up. Got a little tongue-tied there. So here's my contact information. Please feel free to snap a picture of it and be in touch with me if I can answer any questions for you. And please share this with anyone who may benefit from this. And let's keep the conversation going. I wish you all epic wins on your entrepreneurial, or like I like to say, Entrefluential adventure. Lastly, please accept my heartfelt thank you for inviting me into your home, your office, or your mobile device to facilitate this workshop for you. I truly appreciate the opportunity to serve you as a business broker, a legal and financial advisor, a business consultant, and educator. And I look forward to collaborating with you again in the near future. Take care and God bless you all. Again, thank you so much. Bye for now.